Welcome everyone to another episode of The Truth Unspoken. Good evening, and we're back at it again with more information, more data, and more standing, letting these people know that our children belong to us and not to them. Hey, that's the problem is these people believe that their children belong to our children belong to them.
Yep.
And so we have to let them know that no, our children belong to us and it's our tax dollars that are paying you.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of confusion, and well, actually, I can't say confusion. The confusion is on the children and the parent side, but there's no confusion on these policymaker side. They're not confused. They know exactly what they're doing. Every teacher that adopts this doctrine and adopts this propaganda and policy, they're doing it intentionally, and they know exactly what they're doing. So it's not an accident. It's not a miscommunication. It's not a misunderstanding. No, they're intentionally guided on deceiving children and parents for money. And you can only do that by being evil and wicked. And so what they are confused on is their role in our children's lives.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to set straight. And that's why we've come up with the Stay Home inaugural, right? Which is starting on September 30th through October 4th,
Yep.
which two things are going to take place by us doing this. Remember, if we get 1,000 students, that's $250,000. That's whatever school board, school district it is. That's funds they would not receive, right?
Yep.
That's for the day. That's for that week. But also on the 2nd of October, we're having two objectives that'll be taken care of. Two birds with one stone. You ever heard that saying?
Yep.
So two birds knocked out with one stone, which is the second portion is that excuse me, is that the census, the statewide census for funding for the following school year will also be taking place. So there will be a census that's taken on the 2nd, and based on the attendance of students on that day,
Yep.
will be dictate to how much funding will be received on the following school year.
Yep.
And then at the same time, every day that we keep our children out of the school for that week, every day it will be $50 to $70 a child that the school district will not receive. Those schools will not receive that for their children, for the children missing during that week.
Yep.
So imagine if we can get 10,000, or my goal is at least try to get 100,000. But even if the minimum we got was 1,000 kids all throughout California, from all of California, just 1,000 students will restrict $250,000 being made for that week.
Yep.
So anything above that, we're getting closer to the million,
Yep.
right? So if we just so we can understand the numbers, if we would get 100,000 students in California to stay home for this 1 week, that would be $50 million.
Yep.
That will make a major statement
Yep.
to our state, to our governor, on down.
Yep.
So everyone will know. And then what we do is we use that and leverage that to say, if you do not change this sickness, this perversion, this deception in your curriculum and in your strategy for our children's education, then the next time we'll do it for 2 weeks.
Yep.
And then the other countermeasure is to build more private and charter and academies, schools.
Right.
Because in San Diego County alone, every school district for private schools, the waiting list is the minimum between 500 and 2,000 students. And that's on every private school that you can find in San Diego County. Mm-hmm. And so imagine Riverside County, imagine LA County, and all the way up to Northern California. But the point is parents want their children out of these schools but there's not enough schools to provide, and that's what we want to do. We want to create a provision where these kids can come to school and learn about the things that they need to learn on in education. Not sex education, not political education, not confusion education, not deceptive education, not teach them how to lie, teach them how to get mutilated and make them think that they're going to have a great life and they're going to be secure in themselves. No, that's not the education that they should be receiving. And so it's our job as parents to protect our children and to stand up to these evil, wicked people, letting them know that we are not just going to lay down anymore and just allow you to indoctrinate our children and turn our children against us. Yeah. That is what they're doing. They're turning the children against the parents that provide for them, that love them, that nurture them, that teach them, that take care of them, that protect them. They're making our children believe that we're the enemy. Yeah. And we've shown many videos of testimonials of parents that have walked through this and have been through this, and that's exactly what they all say, that when these teachers are doing this, that when they come home, there's a turmoil, there's an aggression, there's a depression, there's all these things, and they're blaming the parents. They're not being open with the parents. Relationships are changing within the homes because of these people in these public school systems. They're changing our home dynamics. They're changing our principles. They're changing our morals from within our own homes. And so this is a way that we're fighting back against that, saying that our children, you're there to educate our children. You're not there to teach them that they're a boy and they're really a girl, and create confusion and create nightmares and create trauma and drama and all the misguiding, and then which equals them seeing a psychiatrist, and now they're providing that at the schools as well. We've played many videos where the psychiatrists at the schools are are manipulating the children and turning the children against the parents. And so we have to understand that our school, well, the biggest thing is parents need to understand that public schools systems have changed forever. Yes. That's number one. We must understand the public school that we went to is no longer. Correct. That system is extinct. Now it's this system where curriculum and tactics are being developed every day by these people. So right now, where our kids are on summer school, there's people that are creating and adding policies and adding curriculums and adding tactics to keep us further in the dark, to deceive us better, more effective ways to deceive us and keep us out of the loop with our own children. That is what they're working on right now during summer break. Yep. And we've already played the videos where these people have been caught saying that on the next summer break, this is what the curriculum they're going to be working on for the next fall semester. Mm-hmm. So they have a plan which equals more destruction, which equals more confusion, which equals more families being destroyed and children being misguided into the surgery room. Mm-hmm. That's what is it about. Get them into the surgery room so that they can be cut on, chopped up, and then their lives ruined, and then they have to depend on these same people for the rest of their lives. If they choose to continue to live, then we have to step in. And so that's what this whole channel is about. That's what this has been created for. Yep. So don't be mistaken, or this is not a political channel. This is not a religious channel. This is not a opinion channel. That's not what this is about. This is about bringing awareness to parents and awareness to people that love children and love quality of life and want to protect families and protect children against these wicked people that we continue disposing, starting with our Governor Newsom in California. He's a wicked, evil man. Yep. And he all these things that he applies to our children during COVID, he sent his children to Montana, while our children had to do online learning and wear masks all day, and then have to do remote and be on the on the computer trying to learn with their parents. It's just it created a whole lot of issues. And he hasn't subjected his family to these things that he subjected our families to. And then he's claiming to be a man of God. Like he loves the Lord, and his values are of a Catholic background, and like he believes in the word, and which I've broke that down in an episode, showing his actual words and then proving that he's a liar, because what the word says and what he says he agree with, he's doing the opposite. So anyways, we got some more videos. We have some more information. One of them is a video of someone who is a woman that transgendered into a man, but then all the realities of her decision and what she has to live with and what she's seen. She understands that this is about money. So this is someone else confirming what I've been saying since last year about the bottom line is not equality. It's not about gender affirming. It's about money. And so she's walked through it, and she's given she has children, and she's given a speech talking about all these issues. Of course, there's people shouting against her because they don't want the truth to come out, but she continues to say about truth. And so although, you know, she is gay, but she has children, we don't all agree on everything, but one thing we do agree on is this objective of these people and what they're truly doing it for. And the bottom line is money, and she's pointing that out, and she's a victim from that. Yep. So let's go ahead and play the video.
Please welcome Scott Newgent.
My name's Scott Newgent. You may have seen me in a little documentary I made a while back called What is a Woman? During that interview, I had no clue who Matt Walsh was. I just thought, wow, this dude has a really, really great beard. I was the trans man who was called the hero in Matt's groundbreaking documentary. The hero, that's pushing it. All I did was tell the truth, and the truth is that I'm a woman and I will never be a man. No one can change their sex. Medical transition is experimental, cosmetic, and it only creates an illusion of the opposite sex for comfort. But medical transition doesn't cure anything, as society is being led to believe. But who I am, my most important role, is that of a parent to 3 incredible children. I'm a mother, and as a woman who has given birth, carried life, as someone who fell for the relentless onslaught of glitter bombs and unicorn farts, I'm here today to put an end to the idea that medical transitioning children is about human rights. It is not. It's about money. We need to stop pushing puberty blockers, hormones, and surgeries on children and youth. Stop telling kids they were born in the wrong body. They are just different. And different is okay. In fact, different is a superpower. You see, the truth is that awkward children, the gifted, the mentally ill, the autistic, the abused, the same-sex attracted are being targeted as a new cash cow called transgender health. The series of dangerous experimental procedures that has no long-term study that says it's safe or beneficial. How are we butchering an entire generation of youth in the name of tolerance and acceptance? This is hypocritical. These kids not accepting their bodies. I can keep going louder if you want me to. These kids that are drastically changing their physical appearance through puberty blockers, hormones, and surgeries is in itself the act of intolerance. Market research predicts that gender-affirming care will generate more than $5 billion by the end of the decade. If the current rate of kids that are being transitioned continues, we're going to have a whole generation of children, lifelong patients, without having one single disease. If I, as an adult, couldn't resist the temptation of a quick fix elixir, do you really think someone with an immature frontal lobe can? These children need people in their lives to help them embrace, accept, and love themselves for who they are. Not a delusion of something they will never become. There are many reasons a child or teenager might think that they're transgender. The transgender is not a condition. It's a verb. It's something you do through a choice you make. No one is born in the wrong body. That's hogwash. There are major medical organizations calling on big tech and the Department of Justice to investigate, prosecute, and silence us. But the truth is on our side. A lot is happening, exciting progress being made all around the nation, with Robin Lundstrom in Arkansas to lawmakers here in Tennessee, and many states working on legislation. Vanderbilt Hospital, I can go louder! Vanderbilt Hospital temporarily halted performing gender-affirming surgeries on minors thanks to the pressure of the people like us. You may not know that I've been in this fight for 3.5 years. I founded an organization and I need your help. It's called Trey Voices. Its mission is to scream louder that medical transition is no place for a child. It's about the oldest greed since the beginning of time, money. If everyone knew the facts, then we would be calling it what it is, child abuse. My only objective with Trey Voices is to transfer my passion and experience as a trans man, as a lesbian, double quoted on the rainbow. Encourage everyone to talk to your children, your parents, your sisters, your brothers, your cousins, your neighbors, your co-workers. I want to inspire people to have those difficult conversations with people who might not agree with them. I want you to do your work. Get outside the Twitter echo chamber. This debate is not political, not about human rights, and we need everyone in Tennessee and abroad to be brave enough to release their own screams and join together with millions in unison for something we all are together, human beings. One colossal scream. The medical transition is not for a child, because within this debate, a bigot today is a hero tomorrow. My question is, are you willing to take the heat today to be a hero tomorrow, to save a generation of children? Because our children deserve us to adult better.
I like the name of that, the rally to end child mutilation.
Yeah.
And that's what this is about, to stop the mutilation of children and teenagers, minors, which are being told that they were born in the wrong body. And she was absolutely right. No one is born in the wrong body. God made us man and woman, period. And we went through that in the early episodes in the scriptures in the beginning of Genesis. God made man and woman. And that's it. He didn't make anything else. He made animals. He made plants. He made all these other things. But he made two genders, male and female. And so, as she was saying, was that we have to stand and we have to fight and we got to unify.
Yep.
to stop this agenda of money-making cash cow. Transgender is not a human rights thing. It's a cash cow thing.
Yep.
And any adult that chooses to be that, that's your choice. But to influence children to be that, now you're in a wicked, the intentions of your heart are wicked and evil. Period. And anybody that agrees with this, or agrees with this policy, or agrees with transgendering children, you are an evil, wicked person, period.
Yeah.
Because children should be taught how to be able to think for themselves and help them, guiding in how to be good human beings, how to care for one another and have compassion on the next person. And as the scriptures say, love your neighbor as yourself. Yeah. And so there's no love in manipulating and deceiving children for money.
No.
And so that's what we continue to talk about and continue to bring. We have another video where in the previous video was talking about the book. The parents from the previous video were talking about a book that their child had, right? It's the video we're going to play now is the video where there's a pastor that goes, and he goes to a school board meeting. Once again, our objective is trying to get unification, unity from all the people that are already fighting and get them involved in an effective result. And that is taking our kids, then stay home inaugural, taking them out of school so that we can get their attention and have an effect. And the only thing these people pay attention to is money. Mm-hmm. And so therefore, we want to remove money from their pockets so that they can hear us saying, stop doing this to our children. That's what it's about. Stop what you're doing with our children.
Yep.
And go back to education and remove this LGBTQ curriculum that you're forcing on all public schools in America. So anyways, we got another video of a father, of someone that's standing, and there's some key things that he says, and they brought him on the Fox News, and so that we can understand, you know, this he breaks down the type of book. So the previous, we've been talking about these books in the public school libraries. We've also had videos where parents were reading this book to the school district, and it's funny that it's not funny, but it's comical how every time we're hearing about a parent reading this book to the board wants them to stop reading it.
Right.
Because it's so vulgar, but yet it's okay to put in for the children to go pick up and read at any time. Yeah, but grown adults that have sense don't want to hear it. The thing about that, but it's okay because what they don't want to hear, they want to separate themselves. They want to be able to receive their money and have no backlash. Mm-hmm. So it's like turning a blind eye. Mm-hmm. Oh, we know it's sick and we know it's filthy. We don't want to partake in it, but we want to let these kids partake in it so that we can get a check. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and roll that other video.
Children's book teaching graphic sex acts, complete with illustrations, making the rounds in school libraries and classrooms across the country, leaving parents and communities outraged. One concerned pastor tried to read the book at a school board meeting, but officials asked him to stop. Here's what he had to say about that.
If you don't want to hear it in a school board meeting, why should children be able to check it out of the school system? You see, we have perverts that are perverting our kids. And you all sit back smug in your chairs and celebrate diversity, equity, and inclusion, but you don't want me to read it so you can hear it.
Reverend John Emenchukwu spoke at that school board meeting, and he joins me now. Reverend, thank you so much for being here. They did not let you talk about the book, but I will. What's in this book?
This book is for children 10 years of age and up. This book is not soft porn, it's hardcore porn. It details explicitly with pornographic images homosexual sex, lesbian sex, straight sex. It promotes and glorifies masturbation while speaking against religions who may call that behavior a sin. This book is used as a tool to create what I call mental rape in the hearts and the minds of children. We are robbing kids of their innocence in America as we allow diversity, inclusion, and equity to dominate our schools. And so many of our librarians are bringing this kind of material into the public school system because they believe that children need to see themselves on the shelf. I don't believe that this is perfectly normal. I believe that this is perfectly perverted, and it needs to stop.
Great point. You got to the point that I wanted to focus on, and it's the why. I want to extrapolate on that. Why? Why are we forcing a book like this on 10-year-olds?
Well, you know, there's this issue of acceptance today. You know, when it comes to inclusion, we have to make sure that everyone's welcome, everyone's invited. We have to make sure everyone feels good. And so along with that comes bringing in pornographic material to show kids about homosexual sex, lesbian sex, gay sex, transgenderism, and all of these things that come along with the alphabet mafia. And so I'm against these things because parents should talk about these things at home. If a parent wants to talk about masturbation and be explicit with their children and show them pornographic images, I don't advise it. I don't think it's something that they should do, but that should be something that takes place at home. But when we rob kids of their innocence, we're leading them down a slippery slope. This book is welcomed in the public school system. But if a teacher were to begin to talk from this book, the Bible, everyone would be up in arms. Listen, we are in a bad place in America. America is spiraling downward, and it's time to storm the cockpit. As we talk about gender theory and queer theory, and we turn these schools woke, our children are underperforming. Our students aren't reading on grade level. They're not doing math on grade level. Our achievement rates are down. It's time to get back to education and not indoctrination.
This isn't just happening in Asheville, North Carolina, where you spoke. Parents are fighting back against this at schools throughout the nation. We reached out to a number of them. Some wrote back. The Bonnie Eagle School District in Maine, they have this book. They had no comment. Asheville Board of Education, where you spoke, says parents have a right under federal law to inspect all instructional and supplementary materials as part of any applicable federally funded programs. And the Waldorf School in Long Island telling us, quote, the book in question is an optional supplementary resource for parents that has never been used in the classroom. Reverend, is it safe to say that parents cannot let their guard down for 1 second when it comes to what is being taught in their kids' schools?
No, but parents, you can't let your guard down for 1 second. There are sexually evil and corrupt and deviant, perverted people who believe that this is okay. And so this is how it works. They bring the pornography into the school system. They bring in these gender theory and queer theory books. And if parents don't know it's there, it remains there. And then when parents are told that it's there, then the parents have to go through 10-step processes to get the books removed. This is sinister. It's criminal. It's child abuse. And so I'm going to school boards around the country. If you want to support my efforts, you can go to Erased Book. That's ERACED book.com and support the work that I'm doing nationally. We need pastors. We need the church to rise up and to speak up against this evil that's been done to our children. And we need men in particular in the culture to be bold and to be courageous. Stop being neutered and use your voice to defend our families and our children.
This push to ruin the innocent years of being a child is not perfectly normal. Reverend.
Some serious language, but truthful. A push to rob of innocence, which we read that in the scriptures on our last episode, speaking about innocent blood. And that's what this is. A push, that's what this is. And I like that, the alphabet mafia. That's a good way to put. That's what they are, because what they're doing is that's what the mafia does. That people don't realize is you got to bow down and do what they say, or there's consequences.
Yep.
If you don't pay up, if you don't, abide by this, if you don't accept this deal, then you're gonna have consequences. Well, that's what they're doing with our children. If you don't accept this, then we're gonna take your children, or we're gonna sue you, or we're gonna have you facing trial. We already showed the last one, the mother of 5 children is on trial because she spoke her mind against this stuff.
Yep.
How can you go to court and have to defend yourself against speaking against people that are trying to take your children and indoctrinate them and teach them to lie and deceive you? How can that even be a court case? Well, it's because listen, if there's millions of parents that start stepping up and start going more than to school districts, but start pulling their kids out of the public school and withholding them, that's gonna think about if we can just get 100,000 in every state, or 50,000 in every state.
Yeah.
Think about it. Then guess what? Then that school districts. Then we're sending the message saying, you're not gonna just take our children.
Yeah.
You're not gonna just deceive our children. You're not gonna turn our children against us.
That's right.
You're not gonna give our children to the butchers. These 500 doctors that have said they're a part of gender affirming, helping people, knowing that's the key, intentionally deceiving. These are the words: intentional deception, rushing to take innocence. These are the true terminologies when you want to talk about gender affirming. It's not human rights.
Nope.
There's nowhere in there where's the child that has the right to defend themselves against a lying adult who they trust. Because that's what it is. These children trust these adults to help them and teach them right, and then they're taking that trust and manipulating it to create harm and destruction and damage. So that's what the Stay Home Inaugural is about. So please share. It's in the week from September 30th through October 4th. Please share these links. Please share the information. Please like and subscribe so that others we want to get the word out. Please donate, even if it's $5, $10, whatever you want to donate. It all goes into us getting land to build schools, private schools, so that when we're ready to take our children out, it would be so great if we had at one moment in time, just in our county, where we can, empty out 2,000 students, and they're gone, and they're gone to the private sector. And then, the next semester, the next year, we get 4,000. Right? Then they're going to have to, those type of things will cause quick responses, I promise. To where they'll be shutting down this curriculum saying we're losing children, which means we're losing money, because that's what it all boils down to them, money. Losing children equals losing money. Doing this policy equals gaining money. Bringing psychologists in, they're hiring more psychologists and psychiatrists to be at the schools to help usher this policy and this propaganda of making money and handing them over to doctors and insurance companies for butchering and mutilation. So we're not going to stop. We're continuing on. We thank everyone, the ones that are supporting, those that are watching, those that are standing, those that are sending out the link and sending out the information. We thank you. God bless you. We have some scripture that I want to give. That goes into every time the scriptures are to show that this isn't new, and that evil, wicked people that worship money have always been here, and that we're showing that this is something ancient. This is an ancient battle that has always been going on, and so we're just the scripture to help remind us of what we're supposed to do. And expose the type of people. Remember, there's only 2 people. And it's more than just male and female. It's either righteous or unrighteous.
Yep, that's right.
It's either wicked or righteous, evil or righteous, and protectors of righteousness and things of good, right? And those that want evil, so that they can take the plunder from the innocent and fill their own homes. So Proverbs 2, and we're going to start in verse 10, we'll see knowledge. The Bible talks about knowledge, the knowledge of God. What? The knowledge of God has your eyes open to what's going on around you. And when you don't have the knowledge of God, when you underneath the understanding or the convincing of wicked, evil people that make it sound good because they have degrees and they drive Mercedes and they have real, they have a lot of money in the bank, and so they seem like they're professional and they're respected, and we trust these type of people, which you have to stop trusting those type of people. You have to trust what the truth is, right. And you can always find the truth in the Word of God. Right. And so it says in verse 10, it says, "For skillful and godly wisdom shall enter into your heart, and knowledge shall be pleasant to you." Right? So this is knowledge that we're given. This is knowledge of truth. So when you have the wisdom of God and you allow it to enter into your heart, see, that's what we're given. We're given the wisdom of God. The little boy that was 10 years old that got shot in the chest by the police officer, he had that wisdom and understanding. That's why he didn't panic. And that's why he began to worship God, because he knew his safety and his protection was in God. And his knowledge and his understanding had him correct the adults that told him, the journalist said that the doctor saved your life. He said, the doctor didn't save my life. He said he helped but God saved my life. See, he had that godly wisdom and understanding to where 9 times out of 10, you can take any adult and put them in that situation. Most people, they're going to panic. And you have a bullet in you, go through your chest. Most people, you're going to panic. Blood was coming out of his mouth, and he was a child singing worship to God. That's what these scriptures, that's what they do. They change your life. They change your understanding. They change your knowledge when you allow them to. And it talks about the people that allow that wisdom and knowledge, they're wise with God. Then it talks about the evil and wicked, they reject it and they don't want to hear it. So he says, discretion shall watch over you. Discretion shall watch over you. Understanding shall keep you. So in these moments when people say, I don't understand, I don't know what to do. See, this word, these words of God, they keep you. They keep you safe. They keep your mind sane. They keep us, right? To deliver you from the way of evil and the evil men. These people that are rushing to shed innocent blood, that are rushing to take the plunder, our precious gems, which the scriptures of last week's episode said, our precious gems, our children, which they are trying to take. That's the evil men the scripture is talking about. It says, from men who speak perverse things and are liars. That's what we've been hearing. You just heard the woman named Scott Newgent. She said they're liars. Chloe said they're liars. The people that have been victims of these perverse men, these perverse people, and that have been deceived and lied to. She's saying they're liars. That's what the scripture says. All of them. Evil, wicked liars. It says that's what the understanding of God protects you from them, because you're able to see that they're liars. You're able to see that they're evil and they're deceptive. That's what the discretion of God and the wisdom of the Lord through the scriptures gives us, ability to see. Men who forsake the paths of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness. They choose this. That's what people have to understand. They choose to lie. They choose to be wicked. They choose to be perverse. And the knowledge of God, it says they leave what's right. So like the teacher in Europa Valley, she left the darkness. She left what they was telling her she must do.
Yep.
She walked away from that. Where the other people that choose to stay, they walking away from righteousness. So two things are happening. You're either walking towards righteousness or walking away from it. And so that's what it says. Men who forsake the paths of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness.
Yep.
So they turned away from what's right. So she said every day, I don't want to have the decision of it. She said, I have to choose between wickedness and if I'm going to bow down to what they're telling me to do, because that's the policy. And so she was saying that shouldn't have to be a teacher shouldn't have to go through that.
Right.
Every day they have to leave their morals. She said, leave my morals outside the gate of the school. Leave my beliefs, leave my truth, and become a liar and a deceiver. She said, that's the decision I have to make every day. She said, I can't do that. I have to leave. That's what they're talking about. Now, everyone that goes to that school and does not walk away from it, they're forsaking the paths of uprightness and choosing the ways to walk in darkness. It says, verse 14, who rejoice to do evil and delight in the perverseness of evil. That are these people. They enjoy and delight in the perverseness of evil so that they can get a check.
Yep.
So it makes them happy. They don't care about the child that they just destroyed or the young adult that they just destroyed or the parents that they lied to.
Yep.
They care about having the plunder of the innocent in their home. Greed.
Yep.
It says, who are crooked in their ways, wayward and devious in their paths. Remember, that's what the father of the last episode said.
Yeah.
He said the part that got him was that they intentionally deceived them.
Yep.
And so that's what these scriptures are showing, what these people are and why they are the way that they are. Because you cannot be in your right mind and think it is okay to send a child to be chopped up and then tell that child they're going to be happy after you chop them up. And you know that they're not. You know they're never going to be the same. You know if it's a boy and you remove his genitals, you know that he will never be able to produce a child.
Yeah.
You know that if you go inside and remove a woman's ovaries and remove her female glands and try to make it and pump her with testosterone and puberty blockers, you know that child will never be able to have a child. You know that the reproductive system is now damaged for life and can't be reversed. These people know that.
Yep.
And they don't care. These are the people that our teachers are putting in ushering to. So it starts in school, and then they usher them to these people. They usher them. It starts in school. You really a boy, you really a girl. You should go see the psychologist, see the professional on duty at school, and they can help you. And then that professional says, I will recommend you to a great doctor that can make you happy and turn you into what you really want to be. Then they hand them over to that. Then that doctor tells the parents, you can have a happy daughter or a dead son.
Yeah.
Those are your only two options. Not, hey, maybe they're exploring and they don't know, they don't understand. Maybe. No, these are your two options, parents. Get this mutilation surgery or your child's going to die. And they know that's a lie. But they're using their professionalism to manipulate and to destroy. Why? Because they are crooked in their ways, wayward and devious in their paths, and they rejoice to do evil and delight in perverseness of evil. They enjoy it. So, Please hit this like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Please pass out the link. Please share the information. We are in a serious war for our children and the soul of America, which starts with our children. Our children are the future, and it's our job to protect them, to guide them, and to safeguard them against all evil, even if it's a person with a degree saying, I'm an educator professionally. That's what our job is to do. So stay home inaugural. Please send out the week. It's September 30th through October 4th. Yep. And we need as many, coordinate, plan, schedule. You know, you may need to take some sick pay from your job so that you can help babysit or help keep. We got to work together. That's the point.
Yeah, make sure on the email list too.
Yeah, and email us exactly, and email your name and that you want to join in. Please email studentstayhome.com.
Yep,
you can join us there. So thank you for joining on another episode of The Truth Unspoken. God bless you. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week here for another episode of Truth Given to You.